We are back with the 5th day of the Swimming Knowledge Series organized by the Rainbow Swimming Academy. The Swimming Knowledge Series is powered by Sastajan School 6 Plus and Sastajan and sponsored by Glory Swim Shop. Parents, please join in for today's program as we will be covering nutrition and injury prevention. The question of the day will be asked at the end of the Q&A session, and yesterday's winners will be announced as well. Now, I would like to invite Coach Julian to speak a few words.
I have to be unmuted.
Done.
Okay, thank you, Coach Kasun. Good evening, coaches, swimmers, parents, others tuning in from Dubai. I think we got some people. So welcome everybody, and day 5, fantastic. Like I said yesterday, I am the student here. I'm learning so much. This is fantastic what the coaches have presented. And can you believe that I'm taking down notes? So I'm not good at remembering things. So yesterday's talk on LTD, long-term development, by Coach Shehan, I think that was excellent, fantastic stuff, well structured, and I like the story of the ice cream. And okay, so my secret is I'm 81 kilos now. I don't eat ice cream till I hit 79. So I'm waiting for that 79.9 and I'm going to be eating my ice cream. But look, the ice cream story is a fantastic one, is that we don't want to overdo something we like. Swimming also, at the beginning when you're young, you can have a lot of fun. Coaches in certain programs have playtime and it's more relaxed. But if you start to enjoy the sport and you're progressing in the sport and you want to compete more, you might have to train a little more because you have your own targets in life, in swimming. But then, unfortunately, we know in our country, and we see that with our senior swimmers, in any sport, with senior athletes who are into A levels, doing O levels, if you want to compete at a high level or train more to be faster, stronger, well, then the time factor comes into play. And it's a lot of training, a lot of studies. And I think so the key thing is to try and enjoy it and don't overdo. I like the fact that if you are young, personally, I like that thing about making the IM, individual medley, your medley, as your first stroke. With Coach Shehan, say around 12, 13, till about 12 years old. If you could say your favorite stroke is the IM, I think that's a fantastic one. I like that. So specialize in all 4 strokes. Give all 4 strokes. Be good at the technique. You might be faster in one and not the other, but try and improve your strokes. We have a swimmer who not a great backstroke, not a great breaststroke, but did the 100 IM, and we worked on it on the breaststroke and backstroke only late in life. And it took a year to try and put that right, because for years he didn't do it. Now, if he had his breaststroke and backstroke put right, because he's a decent butterflyer and a decent freestyler. But it took us a little while, but he's made a new event of him. And then hopefully he's tried the 200 IM now. And it's a new event for him. So remember to keep the medley as your overall stroke when you're young. Try and swim all 4 strokes every week. And yeah, don't eat too much ice cream every day. Not all 3 meals. You might start to not like it. So again, thank you guys for listening in. We have 3 more days of wonderful stuff going on. And today's topic is, to me, a very, very important one. Young children, young athletes, senior athletes, adults even. It's about the food we eat, the recovery, and how do we prevent injuries. So I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you, Coach Kasun. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. So before we proceed, I would like to remind you a few things. The chat box will be open for questions 7:30 p.m. onwards, and please use the chat box for questions only. I've been keeping on reminding you all that. Then please switch off your video mode, so it will help us with the connectivity. And please stay back for the Q&A session, because I think it's very important that you are part of the Q&A session, because you might be able to, or most probably will be able to, learn a lot from the answers which the panel will be discussing. And also we'll be announcing the winners of yesterday's question, and we will have the question for the day, and you will be able to win gifts from Glory Swim Shop. Right. So today we have two speakers, and first we would like to speak about nutrition. And to speak about nutrition, we have Kanitha Munasinghe, Coach Kanitha Munasinghe from Rainbow Swimming Academy. I'll give a brief introduction to Kanitha. I think I did it a few days ago, but I'll do it again. So basically, Kanitha represented Sri Lanka in swimming as well as water polo. He also held the national record for the 50-meter breaststroke. He captained the Royal Swimming Team in 2012, and then he captained the water polo team in 2013. He was also part of the coaching staff at the recently concluded South Asian Games, which was held in Nepal. Over to you, Kanitha.
All right, guys. Good evening, everyone. So, hi for the second time, guys. So it's been a wonderful 4 days of presentations. Like like Julian said, not only him, like we all learned a lot throughout these presentations and throughout this program. So today we have two topics. It's sport nutrition, and then we have the injury prevention program. So guys, I have to say this, like this topic is a very deep topic, all right, deep and big topic, right? So I want to make sure that I am going to stay in basics. So we have 12-year-old kids here, maybe 20-year-old kids, all right? So the 12-year-old also can understand, right? So I am going to try my best to stay into basics. Parents, yes, it's important for you guys as well, because end of the day, you are the one who's going to cook for your kids, all right? So make sure if there's anything, there are some slides which I'm not going to explain that much, but have your phone or a camera ready. Maybe you can take some images of those slides, or else you can always drop me a text to clarify it. All right, guys, so let's move into the presentation straight away. So we have basic introduction for sports nutrition. All right, into the first slide, what is sports nutrition? So this is a subject we've been researching for about more than past 30 years, guys. It's being renewing every day. So researches are happening right now. It happened before, and even in the future, there will be researches. And not today's comment, in the future, someone will say, now this is better than the last year's one. Yes, it's been renewing each and every day, each and every moment, because researches have been happening. All right. So what we are talking in sport nutrition is what we have to eat. Basically, what we have to eat before training, during training, and after training, or else before competition, during competition, or after competition, to make sure that you get the maximum results of your training program to achieve your maximum goals through sport nutrition. So that's what we are going to talk in this in this conversation today. So in the second part, it says also sport nutrition is about how the athlete eat during the training period and to recover from training influences their health and their fitness level, like I mentioned before. And at the last point, nutrition is vital after exercises to enable the body to recover from training sessions, and before exercises to determine how well the body will allow someone to perform. Always make sure it is very important for you to have the proper nutrition to make sure that you are ready for the next day's training. Because when you train, what happens is your fuel tank goes empty. You have to make sure you refill it up for your next session to give the maximum effort. Moving into the next slide. All right. So let's have a look at what macro and micronutrition is. I'm sure a lot of you all know about this because this has been taught in maybe grade 7 health science or somewhere around that grade. So let's have a quick look at it. Macronutrients are the nutrients that we need in large portions in our diet. If we take it as carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Micronutrients are the nutrition that we needed in our diet, but only in smaller amounts. That is vitamins and minerals. So those are the 5 major nutrients components for an athlete. So if we take a plate full of food, you have to make sure there's a large portion of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And you have to make sure the vitamins and minerals are included too, but in a smaller amount, because the major 3 are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and we have vitamins and minerals as well apart from those 3. Moving into the next slide. All right, so here I have put a nutrition table. Parents, swimmers, you all can have a look at this. I have mentioned the 5 nutrients and sources, where it comes from, the function, what does it actually do, and the contribution to diet. You can always take a clear image of this, picture of this, because I'm not going to go through one by one because I have very limited time. So, but guys, have a look at the contribution to diet. That is very important. If it's carbohydrate, it's 50 to 60%. That's more. Proteins 10 to 20%, fats 30% of calories. KCAL means calories. All right, and vitamins and minerals a very little amount, that's 0 to 5% of calories. Just have a quick look at it or take an image so that you can maybe go through it later. The sources are there and the functions are there as well. Let's move into the next slide. All right, this is very important, guys. What is the sixth nutrient? I said there are 5 major, but there are actually 6. That the 6th one is water. This is where a lot of swimmers lack. There's a separate slide for hydration. I will talk about water in that slide as well. But guys, having said that, you have to know that what is very important for every process which goes in your body, even to transport those carbohydrate foods and everything. It works as a source of transportation. And also you have to make sure, like, if you stay without eating for 4 to 5 days, yes, you can survive, because you can survive. But can you survive without water for maximum 2 to 3 days? You will stay maximum through 2 to 3 days. After that, you will collapse. So water is very important, even though it has very little bit of nutrition value. It is very important for everything because it affects every process in your body. Let's move into the next slide. All right. So I'm here, guys. I'm going to go through the 5 major nutrients: carbs, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. I'm going to give a basic introduction, not a deep introduction. I'm going to show how it's going to work inside your body. So there are some scientific facts as well, but you can listen to it and get a basic idea of what I'm telling, right? So the first point says carbs are found in almost every food we eat, such as rice, vegetables, foods, fizzy drinks, cakes, and biscuits. Yes, it includes at least a little bit of amount of food what you eat. All carbohydrates foods are broken into glucose, fructose, and galactose inside your body. And how does this happen? So this is the process what's going to happen in your body. When you eat something with carbohydrates, the carbohydrates goes into your body, and then body turns it into glucose, fructose, or galactose. Those are 3 energy sources, right? Then the first priority given to the brain, all right? Given to the brain to produce energy. So glucose, fructose, and galactose goes to your brain, the first priority, because that's act like a major power plant for your body. And then the excess goes to your liver to be used as energy. Whenever you are lacking of energy, the excess is going to pump through your liver. So if we talk about the muscle capacity for glucose and glycogen is 300 grams to 1200 calories. Liver can store up to 100 to 400 calories. Guys, glucose, when it comes to the energy source, glucose turns into glycogen. Glycogen is the term for energy. Got it? So the last point says glucose need to be attached to water, enable its storage in muscle and liver. Like I said earlier, water is very important for any any process. Here also water is included. To turn to glucose need to be attached to water to enable its storage into muscle and liver. Let's move into the next slide. All right, this is a small, guys, you don't have to take this seriously, this part, especially glucose, fructose, and galactose. I'll just give you a basic introduction. Glucose is included in most carbohydrates, foods, and it's directly used for energy or stored. Directly used. That's only glucose. And when it comes to fructose and galactose, cannot be used directly for food or energy. So glucose can be turned into glycogen and directly used into energy, but fructose and galactose, it has to go to the liver and then turn it to energy and then pump it around your body. So that's how the process goes. Fructose can be found in fruits and galactose is found in components of milk, sugar. Let's move into the next slide. All right, guys, this is a very important slide. All right. So fruit juice and smoothies are good nutritional choices or just a source of sugar. Because I said in the earlier slide, fructose are coming from fruits. Got it? So you all must be thinking, oh, so that means are we eating some sort of sugar? So in my recommendation, guys, fruit juice are good. Fruit juice and smoothies are good. At the same time, eating the whole fruit also good. All right. But guys, there's a small term. There's something called fiber contained in all these fruits. But this fiber occurs naturally in fruits that can be found in the skin and the core of the fruit. That can be found in the skin and the core of the fruit. So we have to look at what does fiber do. All right. If you eat something including fiber, what happens is fiber allows your body to keep yourself full. As in, you don't feel hungry at different times. So think about it like this. If you feel hungry, let's say you have the main meal at 8:30, breakfast at 8:30 in the morning, and you feel hungry at around 10 or maybe 11 o'clock. But what are you going to do? You're going to go near the refrigerator. Maybe there's some cake, chocolates. You're going to eat that, right? So that's why I'm asking you to eat more food which contains fiber. That will help you to keep yourself full. And at the same time, if we talk about fruits, guys, smoothies are good, I said, but I'm asking you to eat the whole fruit, because when you put fruits into a blender and when you blend it and trying to make it a sport drink, it's going to damage that fiber content. You are not going to get that maximum fiber content. But if you eat it as a whole, you are going to get that maximum fiber content. So that's why I'm asking you to, when you are eating fruits, don't go always try to go for smoothies or juices. Try to eat the fruit as a whole. So that's about that slide. Let's move into the next slide. All right. So we have carbohydrates, called complex carbohydrates or good carbohydrates, also called good carbohydrates. Parents, you all can take a picture of this as well. The nutritional value depends on whether they have been refined or unrefined in their natural state. So if we take a look at the refined products means these products comes to you after going through a lot of processes, guys. It's not in the natural state. But unrefined products comes to you in the natural form. So if you are an athlete or if you want to be healthy, I am always recommending to go for unrefined products such as wholemeal, whole grain bread, whole grain rice, whole grain pasta, porridge oats, potatoes, so sweet potatoes. Because they are going through less processes and coming to you in a natural state, not the refined products. Let's move into the next slide. All right. This is a very good point, and I'm going to give a real life example in this slide. This is about glycemic index and how it affects athletes. What is glycemic index? Glycemic index is, guys, how fast, it's like a measurement, how fast a carbohydrate food can turn into an energy. That is glycemic index. That's the measurement. All right. What happens here is, this is the example, guys. Let's first go through the points. A food with high GI results in glucose quickly entering the bloodstream and causing high level of energy or blood glucose level in your body. Because the blood glucose level is high, body start making insulin. You might have heard of this. Insulin to lower the blood glucose level. Because of this, athletes feel tired and lethargic since there is low glucose supply in the brain. So guys, when it comes to competition, I have seen almost everyone is taking power gels, correct? Power gels or power bars. Have you all ever heard anyone saying, or the coach saying you all, hey, it's fine to take it, but make sure you time it and take it? That's because of this reason. You have to make sure that you are taking the power gel in the proper, in the correct time. If you take it way earlier, maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours before the race, you are going to collapse. Because what happens is your blood glucose levels are going to go high, and then insulin your body start creating insulin, and it's going to get your blood glucose level to a lower standard, and then you feel lethargic and tired, and you are not going to get that 100% performance from your race. So you have to make sure minimum, at least you are going to take the power gel at least 20 minutes prior to the race, not more than that, at least 20 minutes prior to the race. So have a brief understanding about it. Timing is very important for these power gels and power bars, especially before a competition. Let's move into the next slide. All right, so carbohydrates, we are done with carbohydrates, and we are moving to the second major component, it's proteins. Proteins needed to repair any damaged cells and to promote growth. When you are training day to day, maybe twice a day or once a day, your muscles get damaged. So what protein does, it repairs your damaged cells and damaged muscles. The smallest unit of protein is amino acid. Just like the smallest unit of carbohydrate is glucose, in protein it's amino acid. How does this work in your body? What happens is when you eat something with protein, all right, the enzymes turns it into amino acid, and then it goes to the liver, and from liver it pumps to your damaged cells, and inside damaged cells it's going to work as protein and repair your damaged cells. So that's how it works. You don't have to take it more serious because it's a bit of scientific stuff. The last point says the difference between complete protein and food and incomplete protein food, which we are going to look at in the next slide. Let's move into the next slide. All right, guys. Sources of complete and incomplete protein and their biological values. So even in proteins, we have something called complete and incomplete protein. So obviously, I'm asking you all to go for the complete proteins. So if you take a look at the, guys, you can take an image again, picture again. If we talk about the sources of complete protein, we have eggs with a biological value of 100. Then we have fish, beef, dairy milk, soya beans and stuff. And if you take a look at incomplete proteins, beet, peanut, beans, and potatoes, so and so, right? So the question comes, can a vegetarian athlete consume all 8 essentials of amino acids? Guys, I forgot to tell you, there are 8 essential amino acids, all right? If a food contains with those all 8 amino acids, that means that food is a complete protein. If it's missing one or few, that means we can't take it as a complete protein. So the question is, can a vegetarian athlete consume all 8 essentials of amino acid? Good question. There is a myth in this world saying that if you are a vegetarian, you can't perform at a higher range. But that is not true, guys. That is not true. Obviously, you can have contains all 8 essentials of amino acids. All right. If not, you can have 2 incomplete proteins like peanut, like together, maybe some beans and potatoes together. Then you have a complete source of protein. So mix it up. If you don't find the proper complete protein, mix it up with 2 incomplete protein. Again, you will find the same biological value as complete protein. And if you want to go like in this question, if you want to have a brief introduction about this question, there's a documentary called The Game Changers. Have a look at it, guys. It's amazing. Even I learned a lot of things from that documentary. The name is Game Changers. Just have a look at it. If you are a vegetarian, don't feel sad about it. Obviously, you can perform same as a what you call a person who eats meat. Let's move into the next slide. All right, guys. Protein requirement for an athlete. This is very important. Let's have a look at it. Athletes involved in strength and aerobic training have a greater demands than those involved in aerobic and endurance training. Sorry, guys. It's actually it should be athletes involved in strength and anaerobic training, not aerobic. Anaerobic training have a greater demands than those involved in aerobic and endurance training. That means the difference between sprinters and distance swimmers. So sprinters need more protein than the distance swimmers. Why? Because sprinters are into a lot of anaerobic stuff and they damage their muscles more than the aerobic athletes. Aerobic is all about having that pace and swimming nice and steady, but anaerobic is something very different. It's more into sprinting and stuff. So there's this graph, have a look at it. So an average person can consume 0.8 grams per day. Endurance and aerobic athletes, that's a distance swimmer, has to consume 1.2 to 1.8 grams. And a strength or an anaerobic athletes has to consume 1.6 to 1.7. And a hypertrophy athletes, this is not related to you guys. Hypertrophy athletes is a person who lifts weight, a power lifter or a weight lifter. They need more protein than you guys, about close to 1.8 to 2 grams. That's the measurement, scientific measurements. And the question is coming, what's the recommended protein intake per one sitting and why is it limited, right? So the recommended protein intake per one sitting is 15 to 25 grams, guys. And why is it limited? Because everything has a limit. There's a limit where your liver can take that amino acid or the protein. If you take more than 15 to 20, maybe 100 grams of protein at once, it's not going to work like that. What happens there is liver is going to take it, but it's going to store it as fat because there is a limit to take. Liver will take about 15 to 25 grams and the other will store as fat in your body. So I have seen a lot of swimmers or athletes eating maybe 5 to 6 eggs at once. Well, don't do it. If you want to consume 6 eggs, go like this: 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 at the night. Don't take all those 6 at once because it's not going to give the requirement of protein. It's going to store as fat as well. So always have a knowledge about that. If you are having a meal like that, make sure you stop it from today and try to go portions: 2 eggs, 2 eggs, 2 eggs. Let's move into the next slide. All right, that's about the basic introduction of protein, and we are moving to fats. The smaller unit of fat is fatty acid. So carbohydrates, it's glucose; proteins, it's amino acid; and in fat, it's fatty acid. Important of fats for an athlete. Let's have a look at it. The production of steroid hormones, the protection of internal organs, provide a fuel source during high intensity training, the production of heat. The last point, guys, the production of heat. This is a real scenario which happened to be, which I experienced. So in 2016 SARC Games, I went with Julian sir. All right, it was at Assam in India. Very cold, very, very cold. All right, I was very thin. I was not a built person. I was very thin, and for a fact, I knew that I don't have enough fat in my body. Guys, I couldn't survive there. To be honest, from pool to the changing room, I couldn't walk fast because I was shivering that much because I don't have that much of fat in my body. All right, and at the same time, I notice whenever I go abroad and perform, I don't get that performance because why? I am not used to those climate. My body is not producing enough heat because I am lacking fat in my body. All right. So at the same time, I'm not asking you to, okay, now eat fat, fat, fat. No, that's not the point. With the improvement of technology, scientists have found the good fats and the bad fats. All right. If you take a look at the good fats, we have butter, coconut oil, olive oil, nuts, cashews, almonds, and avocado. Avocado is one of the best fats in the world. All right. And guys, if you are thinking, oh my God, nuts and cashews are very expensive, well, don't go for those. Have some avocados. It's one of the best fats in the world. And bad fats, such as processed food. So you have to avoid those bad fats, not the good fats. All right. Make sure you avoid those processed food and the bad fat, deep fried food. That's all you got to do. You don't have to stop taking fats entirely. Always remember, you are not a normal person, you are an athlete. Normal person will go to work or go to college, come and study, but you are an athlete. You waste a lot of energy in your body. Morning training, evening training. So you need to have the proper nutrition. All right. If a normal person is saying, hey, don't eat fats, don't listen to them. You need fats for an athlete. All right. Let's move into the next slide. All right. The next part is vitamins and minerals. Let's have a look at it. Vitamins are vital for growth and metabolism. Vitamins enable our bodies to function correctly every day. Vitamins and minerals gains from fruits, vegetables, but are also present in other foods such as eggs, meat, and fish. Mainly, it comes from fruits and vegetables. That's why we always ask you all to go eat some fruits and have some fruits and vegetables in your meal, right? So the question is coming: what is the role of vitamin B in sport performance? Right? The answer is, guys, vitamin B helps glucose to turn into energy fast. That's what vitamin B does. All right. So the energy drinks you all are taking, Gatorade, Accelerate, all those energy drinks have vitamin B and carbohydrates as well. So once carbohydrates goes into your body, vitamin B helps the carbohydrates to turn into glucose fast and turn it into energy fast. But guys, before this Gatorade and Accelerate comes into scenario, when we were swimming, when Coach Kasun, when Coach Sachil, I was also very small those days. Before these things comes, it was always what we used was Red Bull and fizzy drinks and stuff, saying that is energy. But that is not true, guys. Red Bull doesn't have vitamin B in that. What they do is they get into your body and then they start looking for vitamin B, whether there's available, it's in your body. If there's no available vitamin B in your body, it's not going to affect at any point to your body. So if you're a person who's still thinking that Red Bull gives you wings, or still thinking that because of Red Bull it enhances your performance, it's not true, guys. Please avoid it. And at the same time, another common error I have seen, when I walk into Sugadha's changing room and I see a lot of dextrose bottles on the floor. Why do I have to drink dextrose? What does dextrose do? Do you have an understanding? What does it do? It goes into your body and bring your energy level high, very high, and at the same time it drops down. That's what happens in dextrose. So dextrose and what else? Red Bull, if you are still taking it, please avoid it. It's actually better to go for something like Gatorade or Accelerate rather than going for those expensive stuff. And at the same time, always remember, water is the key, which we'll talk about later. So let's go into the next slide. All right, guys, parents, we can take an image of this again. Sources and functions of vitamins. I'm not going to go through one by one. We have vitamins mentioned here. Sources, the foods it's coming from, and the function, what does it do? Look at the vitamin B, red meat, fish, eggs, nuts, and beans, energy production, and red blood cell development. So I hope everyone took an image of this. Let's move into the next slide. Next slide, please. All right. Hydration, the very important point, guys. This is where I personally believe which a lot of swimmers lack. Hydration is a key factor for any athlete, not only for swimmers, for any athlete. Daily, your body lost 2 liters of water through sweating, breathing, and urine production. And this can be increased up to 3 to 4 liters based on your training program and how warm around. Now, this is perfect for a country like Sri Lanka, guys, this slide. It is very warm in Sri Lanka. Yes or no, it is very warm. Sometimes we can't even sleep at night, it's that warm. So you have to, especially athletes, have to make sure they are consuming enough water. Even if it's more than that, that is totally fine. All right. So guys, make sure apart from training, apart from training, make sure you consume at least 3 to 4 liters of water and keep yourself hydrated throughout the day. Especially when you are at school, especially when you are at university or tuition classes, you have to make sure you are drinking water enough. All right. And at training, minimum 2 liters of water, in the 2 hours of time, right? And the last point says the best advice is to take 2 to 3 sips of water every 15 minutes and to get into a habit of carrying a water bottle around with you. So guys, I have highlighted that part. You can see, get into a habit of carrying a water bottle around with you. What does that mean? Are you actually taking a water bottle around with you? No. But when you go to a international competition, you can see not only the swimmers, the coaches even carry a water bottle and keep filling it once it's over. That's a very good habit. You all have to make sure you all have that habit throughout the day. It's gonna, I can guarantee that it's gonna help your performance in a way. All right, so make sure if you all don't have that habit, from today onwards, have a water bottle always with you. Take it everywhere you go. Have sip some water every 15 minutes, 2 to 3 sips of water. It's not going to affect you badly. It's going to enhance your performance for sure. Let's move into the next exercise. All right, dehydration and hyperhydration. So what happens when you don't drink enough water? It's dehydration. Dehydration occurs when fluid loss exceeds fluid intake. The signs of dehydration are thirst, dizziness, headache, dry mouth, poor concentration, increased heart rate. HR means heart rate, the short term. Red color skin. At rainbows, what something we do is we ask every swimmer to check their heart rate. Not only at rainbows, like if it's good, if every swimmer can do that, once they get up from the bed, check your heart rate. The first thing to do is check your heart rate. All right. So some swimmers are coming to us saying, sir, my heart rate is high because I studied last night. Yes, maybe that's true. But at the same time, it can be a reason of dehydration. You didn't drink enough water on the previous day, and because of that, your heart rate is high. So coaches can't figure it out because you only know how much of water you drink. And we have another example. We have this national swimmer. I'm not going to tell the name. She's not swimming at the moment. She was a long distance swimmer, and at Candy short course, after the 800-meter freestyle, she collapsed. She fainted. She didn't get her time. We found out from her parents and everyone, and then we found out that she hasn't drank enough water on the previous day or for a week. Her water bottle is full. I hope Sir Julian and Sir Shehan can remember this incident. So that is also, guys, make sure that hydration is very important for any athlete. So the question is, what is hyperhydration? Hyperhydration is athletes takes in extra water prior to workout in a hot environment to minimize the onset dehydration. This is very important for Sri Lanka, and this is very important for swimming, guys, because swimming, when you are doing the competition, when you are swimming a race, you can't have water. But when it's come to other sport, rugby, cricket, football, or karate or anything, you can have water after one round or after one ball, anything. But in swimming, you can't do that. So you have to make sure before the race, you are hydrated. So hyperhydration is very good. Have a water bottle, keep sipping it, and make sure you are hydrated before the event or the competition. That's gonna give a real boost for your event for sure. Let's move into the next slide. Fluid intake of an athlete. This is also important. Athletes, particular aerobic athletes, are advised to consume 2.5 to 3 liters of water every day to replenish the losses during training. Why is it water is best to consume at room temperature? Good point, guys. When you room temperature in the sense normal water, not cool water, not hot water. If you drink normal water, what happens is it goes directly into your body and muscles are going to absorb that water. But if you drink cool water or hot water, what happens is it goes into your body, and body takes some time to convert into the body temperature. Then only it's going to affect it's going to go into your muscles. All right. So make sure, even if you are drinking water, don't go for cool water or hot water. Just have normal mineral water in room temperature. So that will quickly goes into your muscles. Okay. The choices of sport drinks. I'm sure a lot of people here consuming sport drinks. Again, take a picture of this. I'm going to go through it fast, guys. We have 3 types of sport drinks: isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic. So have a look at the observed status and the recommendation and the amount of carbs in the amount of energy. Isotonic is a good source of fuel for hydration, can use before, during, and after performance. Before, during, and after performance. For example, the isotonic lime blast, right? It's good for before, during, and after performance. If it's a hypertonic drink, it provides little bit of fuel, ideal for post-workout rehydration, not during training or not before, ideal for post-workout. But if it's hypertonic, it's actually 10 grams of carbs per 100 milliliters of water. That's a lot of energy. It's ideal for pre-workout, as a pre-workout drink. So whenever you take that drink, check the status and check the label and see whether it's isotonic, hypotonic, and hypotonic. If it's a hypotonic, don't try to drink it after the workout or after training. No point. So after training, it's hypotonic is good. All right. So let's move into the next slide. Three key principles of a healthier diet. Have a look at it, guys. Variety. Choose a variety of foods and fruits so that all nutrients can be gained from fruits. Balance. You have to make sure you have a balanced diet. Food should be chosen from all food groups so that all nutrients can be accessed. The last one is moderation. Consume a balanced meal with high proportion of one nutrient by limiting that nutrient at the next meal. At Rainbows, guys, what we ask swimmers is to eat like a mountain, as in your plate has to look like a mountain. But doesn't mean that mountain of rice and a little bit of other stuff, maybe proteins, a little bit of chicken, maybe a little bit of vegetable. No, you have to make sure you have balance, the balance in the sense same amount from everything. What we see is when we ask them to eat like a mountain of rice, but little bit of vegetables, one egg, and a small piece of chicken. No, that's not what we are asking for. We are asking a balanced diet from everything, including all nutrients. That's for you parents. Please make sure when you are cooking next time, have all those. Have a balanced meal for your kid. Let's move into the next slide. Right. Pre-exercise, I'm going to talk about pre-exercise, post-exercise, and the during exercise nutrition now. 3 aims of the pre-workout meal is to ensure glycogen stores are well stocked, that's for your energy. To ensure blood glucose levels are stable, that's about that glycemic index. Hope you all can remember, if the blood glucose level is high, body is going to create insulin and it's going to drop down. That means you're going to feel lethargic. The last point is to ensure the body is well hydrated. Very important. The second point is advisable to eat meal 2 to 4 hours prior. The meal should be rich with carbs with 150 to 300 grams in solid or liquid form. In Sri Lanka swimming, this is something where we are really struggling, especially when it's come to competitions, guys. I personally, I have swum the heats at 12 o'clock and swum the finals at 2 in the evening. So only 2 hours of difference. All right. I hope in near future that we will go into a plan where athletes get a lot of rest during the morning session and the evening session. So athletes have the time to hydrate themselves, have the proper meal, so and so. So right now it's up to a certain level. Yes, it's under control, but try to get it at least 2 hours. Try to get your meal at least 2 hours prior to your performance. The next point is ensure that there are vitamins and minerals in the meal to convert glucose into energy. Ensure optimal hydration by continually sipping water 2 hours before exercise. That's more like hyperhydration. Moving to the next slide, and the next slide is about during exercise nutrition. When aerobic or anaerobic athletes exercise at a high intensity, reduces glycogen stores. That means your energy stores coming down. And after 2 hours, they are fully depleted. That means your energy levels are gone. You are zero, no energy. Because of above, it is recommended to consume carbs during the workout better in liquid form. That is your energy drink. I told you in your energy drinks, there's carbohydrates and there is what you call vitamin B included, right? And at Rainbows, we always ask them to have a fruit. All right, before we move into the main set, we ask them to have that fruit. So I prefer to have something including carbohydrates, a fruit including carbohydrates, so that it will give you more energy. All right. Some athletes use sweets like jelly bean to get quickly energy. That quick energy, that of course, if you take a look at triathletes, marathon runners, they used to, I have seen this triathlete used to drink a lot of fizzy drinks during the runs because their event is very long, guys. I don't prefer it for a swimmer, but yeah, for if you are a triathlete, so and so, yes, you can go for that during workouts. Again, it is vital to consume water and keep yourself hydrated. Again, the most important point. Let's move into the next slide. The last slide, guys. That's post-exercise nutrition. This is very important, guys. Right now, post-nutrition is done. During workout, nutrition is done. Now your energy level is very low because you are done with training. This is very important. The post-exercise nutrition, to make sure your energy levels are high and filled up for next day's training or the next day's competition. The priority is to fill glycogen tank. That's your energy tank, to replace fluid lost through sweating or during training. It is important to eat carbs as soon as you finish the workout. Recommended 50 to 75 grams of carbs in first 15 minutes. Guys, ask the questions from you all. Are you all taking a meal right after your workout? I'm sure it's a big no. Especially students who's going to school, what runs in your mind is how you all are going to go to school without getting late. Guys, always make sure this is very important. Have some sort of food in your mesh bag. That's fine. Right after training, between 15 minutes, take it. Have it, something including carbs. Otherwise, it's not going to give you the proper post-exercise nutrition. All right. This is very important. And to be honest, I haven't seen anyone taking some sort of food between 15 minutes right after training. So that is very important. Even when you are changing, if you can have a bite and start changing. I know going to school is very important as well, but you have to balance it, guys, somehow. School is also important. Your nutrition also important, and at the same time, your swimming was also important. Post-workout, it is easy to consume sport drinks or sport bars and water, as it is unlikely a meal to be available. So that's what I said in the previous one as well. If it's a something fluid or a sport bar, that is also fine. Just have it. The last point says some athletes consume a protein shake as it provides amino acid passed to the system. Protein shakes include BCAA, which means branched chain amino acid. I'm not recommending this for a junior athlete, but yes, anaerobic athletes, yes, they need a bit of protein more than the aerobic athletes. But guys, having said that, this is very important. Protein shake is not your main meal. This is where a lot of people goes wrong. If you have a protein shake, all right, I'm full, I have all the energy. No, your main meal is the most important thing. Then apart from that, as an additional, yes, you can have the protein shake. Do not ever skip the main meal and go for a protein shake. You are not getting anything at all. Main meal is the important meal. For a swimmer, I prefer, for an athlete or a swimmer who trains twice a day, I prefer 5 meals per day. 3 main meals and in between a small snack maybe. But make sure not the deep fried foods or processed food. Have some healthy meal. Even to those 2 snacks, you can take some fruits or salad, maybe something. And the last point I have again written in bold letters: experiment all meals, pre, during, and post, before you make it a lifestyle. Nutrition is also a part of your system, guys. It's a lifestyle, and make sure, guys, you practice it every day. Coach Shehan talked about this yesterday. What some parents do is they look at, all right, let's say your kid is placing 5th at an event. They look at what the person who came first, they look at their meal. That kid is eating this, or maybe I should give the same thing to my child. Michael Phelps is consuming 12,000 calories per day. I should make sure that my child is also consuming 12,000 calories. No, it's not going to work like that. Maybe your child might ended up having a heart attack if you go for a 12,000 calorie. All right, you have to make sure, guys, different athletes have different nutrition plan. Don't look at anyone else's nutrition plan and try to copy it. It's not going to work like that. It's going to affect your performance very bad. You might try to put on, you might gain weight. It's going to work like that. So make sure day to day, every life, you are going to practice your meals. Even before training, before competition, practice it out. Don't try to take anything strange before a competition. What if you get a stomach ache? All right, but what happens? You can't swim the event, right? So practice it out and have your proper nutrition. And at the same time, this is for parents, guys. If anyone is thinking that this is good for weight loss, this slides, It's absolutely not. This is sport nutrition. Please, parents, if you are considering of having your meals according to this presentation, don't do it. This is sport nutrition for athletes and for sportsmen. All right, guys, that's about the sport nutrition. I'm adding one more point, just 1 minute. Rest is important. Rest is key for any nutrition or anything. You have to make sure that you get proper amount of rest before next day's training. You have to make sure, a swimmer have to make sure during training they are going to bed before 9 o'clock. Before 9 o'clock, and minimum 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That will give you more energy. Trust me, if you don't get enough rest, you are gonna again lack in performances. So because rest is speed. Always remember, rest equals speed. So make sure you have the proper amount of rest as well. So that's a basic introduction about sports nutrition, guys. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you again for Rainbow Aquatics for giving me a chance to talk on behalf of you guys. And we have our physiotherapist Udesh coming up. Coach Kasun, over to you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kanitha, for that wonderful presentation. We kind of went over time today. So what we will do is we will actually have Udesh for tomorrow. So we will have Udesh for tomorrow, and I mean it will be included in tomorrow's segment itself. So injury prevention will be covered tomorrow. So what we'll do is first we'll go into the Q&A session, and then we'll move on to the question of the day and the winners of yesterday. Right. I'll first unmute our panel.
Kasun, I'll do it while you get going. I'll unmute everyone.
Right. Thank you. Okay. Kanitha, you're still around? Right. You're unmuted. Okay. Right. We've got quite a lot of questions. So we'll go one by one. Right. I think you mentioned this, but I think they've asked this again. Kanitha, switch on your video, please. Right.
All right.
What is the best way of consuming eggs?
What is the best way of consuming
eggs? Yeah.
Guys, it actually depends. All right. It actually depends on your training plan. So if anyone is planning to have maybe 3 eggs per day, all right, let's say he's a 12 or 13-year-old kid and training only 1 session per day, all right, I would say that's too much. I would say that's too much. But if you are a pro athlete, maybe 19 to 20, maybe age of 19 to 20, and if you are training twice a day, 10 sessions or 12 sessions per day, 12 sessions per 10 to 12 sessions per week, yes, you can go up to 2 to 3 eggs per day. But always make sure that you are not gonna take it at once. All right. But training intensity is very important. Michael Phelps consuming 12,000 calories because he trains like an animal. All right. His training load is very high. That's why he eats a lot. But if you don't train that much, and if you start eating like Michael Phelps, it's going to be a problem for sure. You are going to overweight for sure. Coach Kasun?
Right. Thank you, Kanitha. So let's go to the next question, which is very interesting for a lot of swimmers. Right. So does this mean we as swimmers have to give up on our likings to consume any type of food? So I'm sure they must be asking about the McDonald's, the KFCs and all of that. Can you give an answer for that, please?
Yeah, I can give. Guys, you have to prioritize something first. All right. You have to set your own targets. Have a target, whether you want to be a national swimmer and end your career, whether you want to go for Commonwealth Games or something and end your career, whether you want to be go to Olympics and end your career. Have your target first. Then you can decide what you want to eat. If it's like you only want to maybe comes into final and then enjoy your life, having pizzas, having all the junk food, yes, you can go for it. But if you think I have a bigger plan, I need to go for Olympics, I need to break this national record, I want to do something which no one has done before, then you need to have a proper, more than nutrition, I would use the word discipline, proper discipline of whatever the thing you do in training, inside the pool, outside the pool, everywhere. All right. So you have to have a choice on that first. What's your end target, and after that you can decide what you are gonna eat.
Thank you, Kanitha. I would like to add a small thing to that as well, as a personal experience. So some of you might know I'm coming from a swimming family as well. And my brother swam, and my younger brother, basically as tall as me, maybe 1 inch taller than me, was basically a very limited swimmer when it comes to talent. So he had to work very hard. So he had to eat a lot of healthy food. I mean, even when we had our own McDonald's and KFC, he used to demand for red rice. He used to demand for homemade food, home cooked food. So I think at the end, he for that sacrifice, he gained something. So I think, as Kanitha said, I mean, if you want to go far, and it helps, it definitely helps to basically eat healthy food. And maybe once in a while, I think all of us are human, all of us we have gone through that. Maybe a cheat meal once in a while is okay, but maybe as Kanitha said, maybe to be disciplined, that will take you far. Right. Julian sir, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, yes, for sure. And I think swimmers must learn that, why we do things, and why we stay in sport. And it's okay, I think, if a swimmer says, look, I just want to be in a sport only, or I want to compete at this level, age group level, or I want to try and compete at nationals. But always remember, if you want something that you want to achieve as a target, and you have to improve, whether it's your studies or your sport or anything else, discipline in life, you have to work at it. So nothing comes overnight. And unfortunately, I think, we can touch this on Sunday also. Sometimes because we are so talented that when we are small, we might not even train and swim fast. And suddenly everybody thinks, oh, this swimmer is going to be really fast in the future also. But the swimmer might say, you know what, I still don't want to train. So you might get some results early, but later on in life, when the rest of the competition catches you up, it's all about training. So it's all about eating ice cream. It's going to be tough, and the toughness has to be something that you enjoy. And I can only tell you, all swimmers, look forward to hanging out with your teammates at the pool. Enjoy the program. And if you do that, I think 90% of your planning or your target, everything will happen if you learn to enjoy what you do. But if you go with targets and all that as a big reason why you do sport, there is a lot of us. I would have given up the sport long time before I quit. So it's good, but always know, by doing something better, eating something better, drinking water, it'll always help you. So you've got to make choices and decide what you want. But it's okay if a swimmer says, you know what, I just want to be at this level. And I've seen lots of swimmers who do that. But in that level, if you want to have a small target for that year, why not? But still make a plan then. Right?
Thank you, Julian sir. Okay. Is artificial boosters such as power gels recommendable? Aren't they having bad effects when we get older? Can't we compete just with natural resources?
Yes, good point, guys. Good point. So you have to it's a really good point. Now it has become a trend. Taking these power gels and everything, it has become a trend. Yes, of course, you can perform without those power gels. All right. Power gels will give you a bit of energy, but everything remains in the effort you put inside the pool. That's where everything remains. All right. Don't expect to swim fast without doing. Don't expect to swim fast having a power gel, but without training properly. So don't have your mind on those power gels. Don't prioritize it. Don't think, oh my God, I couldn't take my power gel today. Because of that, I'm going to go slow. Always believe in your training. The effort you put in inside the water and maybe inside the water and in the gym. That's what makes you a champion. Not especially these what you call supplements or power gels or energy boost or energy gels, right? There are swimmers. So how come some swimmers who swam back in the day in 90s are still faster than uh, present swimmers? Did they have energy gels? No, I don't think so. They train they train like animals. That's the reason for their success, not energy. Okay to have a power bar or power gel, but the most important thing is having proper training and proper nutrition.
Okay.
Can I just touch a little on that? So swimmers, I'm a rugby fan. I follow schools rugby. I follow Sri Lankan club rugby to a point. I watch international rugby. I watch the English rugby league. And in the schools rugby setup, my school that I went to, Royal College, has a big, very big. I'm not sure if it's as big as a Josephian budget. And a few coaches might go, oh.
Not as big as Royal.
Well, the Josephian sponsor has pulled out now. He's in the opposition. So don't worry. These are little jokes we have as coaches. See, we also have fun. We try to have fun. Huh? And you know Isipatana College. Now, on Sunday when I speak, I hope some of you will turn up. Don't run away. Some of you at least stay. But hopefully your mom and dad will be there. But who's going to speak with me is Shamli Nawaz. He's the present St. Thomas's rugby coach, but he played for Isipatana and he played for Sri Lanka. And there was a season where we heard the royalists during the halftime of the rugby match will have all these, what you all say, the power gels and the isotonic drinks and whatnot. The team with the low budget, Isipatana College, were drinking Thambili at the break. Now, guess who won the league that year? It was Isipatana College. So, I wrote somewhere that I think the best of food costs little money. Try to be as natural as possible. Coach Kanitha was talking about avocados. Peanuts are expensive. Everywhere you listen to nutritional talks, they talk of peanuts and cashew nuts, and those are so expensive in our country, even though we grow it here. But can we find, swimmers, in rugby, you see the Fijians. If you know about the Fijians, they are the strongest of players in the world, the Polynesians. And when those Fijians come to Sri Lanka and play for clubs here in Sri Lanka, for the local clubs, what do you hear? What do you think they eat? They're the strongest. You have 6, 7, 3, 4 Sri Lankan players climbing onto a Fijian when he's running with the ball and then trying to bring him down, and finally might bring him down, but you need so many players. They eat manioka. Now, we will say, manioka is too cheap. Manioka is a poor man's food. Look who the strongest people in the world are eating manioka. So I strongly feel we have so much of good food. And Sri Lanka, look, and we also have certain things that are bad. I don't know the Sri Lankan bread, for example, how good it is. I'm not an expert in this, but look, we don't have to have big budgets to eat well and swim fast. Sorry, I took a little bit of time.
No problem, sir. So actually, we are winding up the Q&A session with that question. As we've said, At the end of this series, we will get back to you with all the answers for the questions which you have asked. There are a lot. So what we'll do now is we'll go, I think the most important part of this of the session. I think I saw a few people also asking what's going to happen for the winners. So basically, so I would like to congratulate the day 4 winners for winning the question of the day. We have Vojini Fernando, Damiru Vikramatunga, and Tinaya. So you can collect your gift from Glory Swim Shop in Spathodi Avenue, Colombo 5. And you should take the identification which you have produced, the details which you have produced. When you go there to pick it up, please, you can collect your gifts actually next week onwards. So we would like to thank Glory Swim Shop for coming forward to help us out with the gifts. Okay, let's move on to the question of the day. I think Coach Kanitha spoke to you about quite a few signs of dehydration. What we would like to see is 3 signs of dehydration. So what are 3 signs of dehydration? So what basically it shows in your body. And, you know, there are a few things which Coach Kanitha spoke to you about. So I think there were 6 points. Out of that, we are asking the 3 signs of dehydration. So I would like to remind you to state your name, your parents' ID number, and then your answer. 3 winners will be chosen and announced tomorrow, just like we did today. So we will give you maybe 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes to actually put in the answers in the chat box. I think already we must be getting answers. In the meantime, I would like to thank Coach Kanitha for his presentation, and I would like to apologize to Mr. Udesh Pereira. He couldn't present today because we kind of went over time, but he will be presenting tomorrow. So please join us. And tomorrow we have Eranga Fernando, one of my favorite swimmers back in the day, had one of the most beautiful flies. And we have Asha Divos, a Sri Lankan celebrity, one of Julian's favorites to argue with, to have a chat with us regarding balancing the student life and the athlete life. I would like to thank Sastajan School 6+ and Sastajan and Glory Swim Shop for being part of this program to help us to be able to give a few gifts to you all. And I would like to invite everyone to join us tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'm sure there'll be curfew, so no Saturday night plans. So join us by 6:50, and we will be starting the program at 7 o'clock sharp. Okay, good night. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.